Hello everybody, my name is Jacob, aka Jacoby04, and I am here to share some Halo Infinite predictions with you. Let's Gandhi hop right in. Okay, so I know I said let's hop right in, but seeing as this is my first ever prediction video, I do want to clear the air on a few topics. I'm not affiliated with Microsoft, 343, or Halo in any professional capacity. That one might be a little bit obvious. Likewise, I'm not a leaker, so if anything comes true out of this, that's purely coincidence or the result of me being a psychic detective, which should not be held against me. And finally, this is not a news video. I call this one out specifically because I am not looking to become the next Halo follower. This is something that I'm just doing for fun. So, that being said, where this kind of comes from is I frequently make predictions to my fiancé alone, and a lot of them have been correct lately. Some maybe obvious ones to others in hindsight are that I predicted Halo MCC coming to PC, Reach coming to MCC, and ODST Firefight coming to MCC. Likewise, I predicted the next-gen Xbox would trend over a little bit more toward blurring the lines between PC and console even further. So, my fiancé, as much as I'm sure she loves listening to me talk about video games and give these hypotheses, suggested that I should make videos. So that's why we landed here. Also, if you're at all curious, all the gameplay that you'll be treated to while we talk was captured myself. So to keep myself on track, as well as to give you a bit of an orientation for where this video is going, and so you know that I'm not just 100% rambling, only like 60 or 70% rambling, I wanted to give you an outline for the video. So the first thing that we're going to look at are some knowns. What do we already know about Halo Infinite? These are important because they give context to some of my predictions. Then we're going to dive into the prediction. I say the prediction because there's really one main talking point that I have for this video, one real topic that I'm particularly passionate about or direction that I think this game is going to take. After that, we'll dive into some quick predictions. These are a little bit more fun, silly, rapid fire, just to go through a few other thoughts or hopes that I have for Halo Infinite. Then we're going to dive into some open questions, and these will be catered around me having no idea. Topics that I just would not dare to make a prediction about. Then we're going to have one little bonus prediction before we wrap this video up. So what do we know about Halo Infinite? Going back to the very first trailer that was showed off in E3 2018, we got a sight that it's going back a little bit closer to the original games' classic art style. The art director for Halo Infinite will be the same as that of Halo Wars 2, which was praised for having art reminiscent of the older games. After that initial trailer, and over the course of the last 2 years, Battle Royales hit a fever pitch. There's PUBG, followed by Fortnite, followed by Apex Legends. So fans poked and prodded 343 wondering, will a Battle Royale be coming to Halo Infinite? 343's response was pretty classic in my opinion. They stated that the only BR that they're interested in is the battle rifle, just the way that I like it. 343, as well as Xbox head Phil Spencer, have also gone on record saying that Halo Infinite's going to be developed or thought of as a soft reboot of sorts. Going back to the topic of Halo Wars 2, just 2-3 weeks ago, coming up on Xbox's big reveal of Halo Infinite this summer, they showed a teaser that strongly suggests that the Banished from Halo Wars 2 will be making a comeback. If you dig a little bit deeper, there's certainly a few more things that we know about Halo Infinite. There's a book that comes out, or has come out this summer, Halo Oblivion, that takes place after Halo 5, so that has some implications for what the story of Halo Infinite might be. Likewise, there's some other details that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. But the next one that I want to talk about is going to lead right into the prediction. Just today, on July 20th, Phil Spencer dropped some hints suggesting that Halo Infinite's going to take some cues in direction from 343's approach to the Master Chief Collection, and how they handle legacy games and how they incorporate that into the broader universe and keep those games alive rather than having those games compete with one another. So I really wish I had made this video before that came out, because it would be all the more impressive. That's basically what my prediction is going to be built upon. So that's where we're going to start. Alright, gentlemen and ladies, grab yourself some popcorn, buckle up your seatbelts, and maybe get your tinfoil hats out if you're feeling extra scrupulous of what I'm going to say here. The prediction that I'm going to make is that Halo Infinite is going to be more of a games as a service than we have ever seen with the Halo franchise before. For those of you that aren't familiar with the concept of games as a service, it's the idea of treating a game not just as one released product, but as a continuous delivery of content and support and integration over the course of a couple years. Some games even longer, like Team Fortress 2, I think has been going on for well over a decade. So this is something that we see all the time with modern games. It almost seems to be the regular for most online games to have at least a year of support out, or longer depending on whether a franchise is annualized or not. Now, games as a service aren't a new concept. Like I said, it's seen throughout other games, and it's actually seen within Halo's legacy itself. We can see the blueprints for this as far back as, or throughout all the recent games like Halo 5, MCC, and even as far back as Halo 4. But before we dive into the specifics of the build-up to this and why this is a big deal, or maybe prediction-worthy in my mind, is I'm trying to wrap up the scope of what this is all going to encompass. Here are some options as to what it might look like. Halo Infinite, over the course of many years, could possibly feature multiple campaigns. Think a successor to the idea of Spartan Ops. Originally, Spartan Ops in Halo 4 was supposed to have more than one season. Halo Infinite, rather than waiting another 4, 5, 6 years to get the next piece of Master Chief's story, could roll out with the next one in 1 to 2 years, built in the same engine, maybe in a slightly upgraded engine, but still delivered through Halo Infinite. Now, continuing on that approach, I pretty much guarantee we're going to see multiple sizable multiplayer drops. That's tricky to say, multiple sizable multiplayer. We saw that with Halo 5, and MCC is getting that treatment now. MCC is continually rolling out with features that were missed, but also new features. Halo 3 and Reach just got new items added to their Forge palettes that had never been in a Halo game's Forge before. I'm really hoping that Halo Infinite's sizable multiplayer drops follow this suit more so than they follow Halo 5's, where Halo 5 almost felt like things were withheld to deliver this system, with critical game modes like Infection and Big Team Battle missing out of the gate. So by now you're maybe thinking, okay, the multiplayer one's a little bit obvious. Anyone without a set of binoculars could see that coming a mile away. The campaigns may be a bit tougher of a sell, but let me push this even further. I'm thinking that Halo Infinite will go so far as to possibly implement multiple Halo games, not just extra features within Halo Infinite. This is what I mean by the true essence of Halo Infinite's games as a service system. It's going to build upon the foundation that MCC laid by just continually incorporating Halo into one big amalgamation of a game, where you can always experience what Halo has had to offer since the beginning. Hopefully by now I've sort of started to get your mind around this idea in the same way that I view it or theorize about it. Again, this is all speculation and just a guess based on the way that Halo has moved over the past couple of years. It would make sense because it would tie into the name of Infinite. Why does this Halo suddenly deserve Infinite? We know that Halo is starting to use subtitles for their names. They said after Halo 5 that Halo 5 that Halo would move in that direction. We had Halo 5 Guardians, but why Infinite? Is it because it could be because of the UNSC Infinity? There are reasonable explanations within the universe, but I think the sudden jump from 5 to Infinite as a number indicates that they're going a little bit broader with this idea. This also ties into what Phil Spencer said today, July 20th, about not treating the Halo games as separate, not pitting them against one another anymore. How can they do that with Halo Infinite if they just up and ditch all the hard progress that they made on Halo MCC and Halo 5 over the years? It wouldn't make sense to abandon the hard work that they've done. I think one of the key things here is that this is not coming out of the blue. This isn't coming out of the great unknown or the far edges of the known galaxy. Halo here is going to continue embracing all the lore, universe, the continuum, and the rich multiplayer experiences. Continue being the key word there. So like I said before, they started this way back with Halo 4 and Spartan Ops. Halo 5 ran by it to a T, and MCC brought it into its final form, creating a platform, an engine that is ready and prepared to handle everything that Halo can throw at it. I believe that Halo Infinite's new slipspace engine is taking all those learnings from MCC, like Phil Spencer hinted at, and getting ready to continue baking them together. I think it's possible that maybe as an Xbox Series X exclusive, all the Halos will continue running together. Halo, that's our 7 games up through now, 1, 2, 3, ODST, Reach, 4, and 5, combined with Halo Infinite in one hub. I don't think that they have any concern about this impacting Halo Infinite sales or the attach rate to it. Maybe they'll make this transition later, but the idea is that Halo Infinite is going to support it and be able to have that foundation, to not abandon all the progress that 343 has been making and the unique situation that Halo has found itself in. You see, fans have sort of put Halo into a tough place. We've known for years that 343 doesn't know exactly how to move the franchise to both evolve it but cater to the hardcore fans. So with the fans' divided opinions, they're forcing 343's hand, or forcing a proper evolution of Halo to this point. The last point I want to make here is that this progression of Halo really mirrors the evolution of the Xbox itself. I do think Phil Spencer actually maybe hinted at this in his article, but just like the way the Xbox Series X is moving with unifying multiple generations of consoles, as well as the PC and console, Halo is unifying multiple generations of Halo. They're not dropping any of it. I hope that I was able to express the wild fan theories and the ideas in my head in a way that was coherent for other people to understand. If not, feel free to let me know down in the comments below, and I'd love to have a discussion about it. And please remember that this is all just for fun. Take this with a grain of salt. If this doesn't happen, then well, too bad, I guess. Oh, okay, we made it. This video is actually taking longer than I expected it to, which is probably why my fiance would love it that I'm making it. Have someone else's ears to talk off about the topic for a little while. So let's dive right into quick predictions. These are going to be shorter, more fun, not a lot of explanation given, more rapid fire topics. And once again, I'm going to emphasize here, take this with a grain of salt. I don't actually know anything. I don't want this to be taken by law by anyone. This is pure speculation. Round 1. Do I think Halo Infinite will feature Sprint? Yes, I think it will. And I will talk a little bit more about that in a second. What do I think the length of the campaign will be? Not nearly long enough. I'm predicting maybe up to 50% longer than Halo 5, but no more than that. Do I think Halo Infinite will have crossplay right out of the gate? Yes, absolutely. Definitely will. If they're talking about maybe doing it for MCC, and if the whole world is moving that way, Halo Infinite will have crossplay at launch, I think. What do I think about custom games and their extra features for Halo Infinite? I believe that the file share and a custom game browser will be available in Halo Infinite at launch. With regard to campaign enemies, we talked about the Banish returning. Do I think the Flood will return? Yes, I definitely do. However, I haven't played that Flood-based expansion for Halo Wars 2, but something tells me that that would either confirm or deny my theory more so. Do I think Halo Infinite's campaign will be open world? Yes-ish. I don't think they're going full-out Breath of the Wild RPG open world, but I do believe they're going back to bigger environments like we saw in Halo 1, like Halo or the Silent Cartographer or the Covenant in Halo 3. Halo 5 already kind of felt like it was going that way, trying to have great support for 4-player co-op, so Halo Infinite is going to have big worlds, in my opinion. On to a more sour topic, unfortunately. Do I think Halo Infinite will have microtransactions? Yes, I believe so. They haven't said no yet, and I don't know why they wouldn't just rule it out early for good PR if they weren't going to have them. So, yeah, we're probably going to have microtransactions in Halo Infinite. It's just kind of the way of the world and part of being a game as a service. And finally, to round out my my micro predictions here, I got 4 kind of really off the wall ones. Will Halo Infinite feature boats? Yes, it definitely will. I once read an article a long time ago that Halo 1 was originally intended to have boating segments with underwater enemies. I would love it if a concept like that came back. Will Halo Infinite feature the return of playable elites? You bet, because I want it, and how can you be a compilation without its legacy? Will Halo Infinite finally feature more than 8v8 multiplayer modes without Warzone or without AIs? Yes, Halo needs to have that option, make that available for custom games, make that available for matchmaking. We need just bigger games. If the campaign's going bigger, let's make that multiplayer bigger. And finally, will Halo Infinite feature dual wielding? You bet. Going back to that old argument of we want to round out Halo's history. You know, from the beginning, you know the end. Alright, we're on the home stretch here, and now is the time to get your dessert if you've been eyeing it up during the course of this entire video. Let's take a look at some open questions that I have, or I guess not, because I'm not going to splash them up on the screen. Let's take a listen to some open questions I have. What's the core gameplay of Halo Infinite going to be like? I have no idea. I think it's still really tough for 343 to support both preferences. I do think that Halo Infinite... I do think that Halo Infinite's campaign is going to be a bit bigger. That implies the need for sprint, much like Halo 5's needed. But part of me thinks that they're going to try to go to support both preferences. Like, have the ability, have quite a few playlists for sprint, quite a few playlists without sprint, among the other changes that people do and do not like. The only thing I haven't been able to figure out is if they go that route, how do they juggle map design? Maps have to be designed from the ground up for sprint or not for sprint to play well with either of them. The next question is, has 343 figured, air quotes, it out? Has 343 figured out the magic that makes Halo Halo? With Halo 4, they copied Call of Duty pretty blatantly, in my opinion. I could make a whole video on that. With Halo 5, they copied the trend of shooters going faster paced. Again, I could make a video about that. I really hope so, but I don't know. Only time will tell with this one. If they got the magic that makes Halo both competitive and fun and intriguing, and that's more than 2 things, but you get what I'm saying. And then finally, what will the new mode be, if there will even be one? I don't know, but I predict that we're going to have more than campaign, forge, and multiplayer, just like we've had with Halo Reach and 4 and 5, you know, Firefight, Spartan Ops, Warzone. I don't know where they take it from there, if they reuse one of those.
5 minutes remaining.
Last but definitely not least, we have our bonus prediction. I'm predicting that we're going to see a Halo 3 anniversary in 2022. However, the big asterisk to that is the likelihood of this happening increases with Halo Infinite success decreasing. Similar to how it felt like Halo MCC was a way to win back fans after Halo 4 sort of pushed them away. Halo 3 anniversary could act as a fallback for that. 2022 would match up with giving them time to develop after Infinite releases, as well as being the 15-year anniversary of Halo 3. And it could, if my theory about Halo Infinite being a games as a service is correct, be tied into Halo Infinite directly. And that's all I have for predictions. At least all that I'm going to take the time to talk your ear off for now. If you've made it this far, or even if you haven't, thank you so much for watching my first predictions video. Please leave me some feedback down below if you have any info on my voice volume, the gameplay, anything that you liked, your own thoughts or predictions. Really just leave me a message if anything comes to mind. And I want to give a special shout out to my fiance. She's the one that really inspired me and motivated me to do this. And she's also hard at work to help me spice up my YouTube channel and make my videos a little bit more exciting in the future. So thanks. I love you. Bye-bye. I love her. Bye-bye to you guys. That sounded weird.